Have you ever wondered why some people always seem to win in life, while you work tirelessly every day, yet somehow you still feel like you're falling behind? It's not luck. It's not conspiracy. It's law. The invisible laws of money that have quietly decided who rises and who stays trapped. For over 300 years, no school ever taught you this. No professor ever mentioned it in economics class. And that's exactly why this system still exists. Because if you don't know the rules of the game, you don't even realize you're in it. Pause for a moment. Look around. The rich don't just work smarter. They stand closer to the source of power. Every crisis makes them richer. Every recovery pushes them further ahead. And the rest of the world fights over whatever falls from the table and calls it fairness. Machiavelli once said, "Men are governed more by illusion than by truth." Nowhere is that more true than in money. You're taught to save while they print more. You work harder while they rewrite the rules. You believe the system is fair, but it never was. Here's the brutal truth. You can't fight the laws of money. You can only learn how to stand where they work for you, not against you. Because these money laws aren't just about wealth. They're about power. And once you understand how they operate, you will never see money or freedom in the same way again. Before we begin, comment below. I'm learning to understand the flow. Let's see how many people are truly ready to stop playing in the dark. Number 1, bad money drives out good. There's an ancient rule born from the days when gold was still money. It may sound outdated, but it still quietly controls your wallet today. They call it Gresham's Law, and its essence is simple. When fake money floods the system, real money disappears. Centuries ago, Europe's kings faced financial collapse. The treasury was empty, yet wars continued. So they came up with a trick, mixed cheap metals into gold, then mint them into new coins. On the outside, they still shone the same, but inside the value was gone. The people were not fools. They hoarded the pure gold coins and spent only the diluted ones. Slowly, the real gold vanished from the market, leaving behind a medieval form of fake money. Sound familiar? Today, the cheap metal isn't copper or zinc. It has new names: debt, credit, and trust. Central banks print more money. Governments issue rescue packages. Prices rise, wages freeze, and the money in your hands loses value every single day. Just like those old tainted gold coins. Pause and think. You work all year to save. But with a single press of a print button somewhere, your effort evaporates into inflation. That's not your fault. It's the mechanism. Because as Machiavelli once wrote, a wise ruler need not take from the people by the sword, only by changing the rules of the game. Today, no one seizes your money by force. They simply take it through rising prices, and you smile, thinking everything is normal. If you pay attention, you'll notice a familiar pattern. Every time a crisis hits, new money appears as if by magic. People feel saved. But who gets it first? Not you, not the workers, but those closest to money printer, the banks, financial institutions, hedge funds, and politicians. They use the new money to buy assets, stocks, real estate, gold. By the time that money reaches your hands, prices have already doubled, and the dollar you hold has lost its value the moment you touch it. Ask yourself, am I making money or just holding paper that melts a little more each day? Machiavelli wouldn't tell you to rebel. He'd tell you to see the world through the eyes of power. In The Prince, he wrote, "If you cannot stop the storm, learn to control the wind." The same applies here. You can't stop money printing, but you can learn to stand closer to where it begins to flow. That's the difference between the poor and the rich. One saves money. The other owns the flow of it. Look back at history. The Medici family of Florence once faced ruin when gold lost value. But instead of complaining, they built the first modern bank in Europe, transforming from victims into architects of the game. When the currency changed, they didn't panic. They changed roles from keepers of gold to controllers of credit, from players to rule makers. Today's modern Medicis do the same. They don't hoard cash. They own assets, data, and other people's debt, while you work for their financial dream. And if you still believe saving will make you rich, remember this. Saving in an inflationary system only means losing wealth more slowly. Machiavelli would say, "He who refuses to study the laws of power becomes their victim." Now comment below. I'm not just making money. I'm learning to understand it. W the cams away. In the next part, you'll see why the rich always hear the good news before you hear the bad, and how insiders win even when the entire world is collapsing. Number 2, proximity decides who gets rich. There's one thing most people never realize. Money doesn't flow evenly. It isn't fair. It always moves in the direction of power. If you ever wonder why every crisis makes the rich richer, why you have to start over from zero, the answer lies in a 300-year-old law, the Candlein effect, or as Machiavelli would call it, the law of proximity. It states one brutal truth. Those closest to the source of money always win. Imagine money as a river. It begins high in the mountains where central banks, hedge funds, and corporations create it. At the top, the water is clear, and those standing upstream fill their buckets first. By the time it reaches the valleys, it's muddy, diluted, and nearly gone. That's how money works. And if you're too far from the source, you only get what's left, watered down by inflation, taxes, and rising prices. Think back. Who benefits first from every bailout, every stimulus package? Not the workers, not you, but the banks, the investment funds, the corporations. They use cheap money to buy assets, land, stocks, gold. By the time that money reaches your hands, everything you want has already doubled in price. This is nothing new. Machiavelli once said, "He who hears of danger first prepares first." In ancient times, those close to the king were warned before war broke out, and they always escaped in time. Today, the king is the one who controls the monetary system, and those close to the king are the ones who know when the money flow is about to shift. By the time you read headlines like interest rate cuts or liquidity injection, they've already moved months ahead of you. When you start buying, they're already selling. It's not magic. It's proximity, closeness to power. Don't think this is abstract. Look at Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett. They're not just smart. They're positioned at the source of the flow. When money is cheap, they borrow billions. When prices rise, they sell shares. When crisis hits, they buy what others panic sell. You call them geniuses. But Machiavelli would say that's not genius. That's foresight. The truth is, in this game, fairness is an illusion. Position is power. So instead of asking, how can I make more money? Ask this instead. How can I stand closer to where money begins to flow? If you're an employee, you're at the end of the stream. If you're an owner, you're in the middle. But if you control the system, you are the source. Think about it. When a bank issues a credit card, who's lending money? Who collects the interest? Who sells your spending data to someone else? Every time you swipe that card, a portion of your money flows back to the source. You're not just spending, you're feeding the current. Machiavelli once wrote, "The wise do not chase power. They move to where power flows." Apply that to your own life. If you live paycheck to paycheck, you're living on late money. If you create value or invest where the money flows first, you're shortening the distance to power. The question is, where are you in that current? Are you waiting for the water to reach you or learning to carve your own channel? Comment below. I'm moving closer to the source. Let's see how many people are ready to wake up from the dream of financial fairness and finally step into the real game. Number 3, concentration. When the 1% rule, the 99%. Have you ever wondered why? No matter how much society changes, it always ends with small groups standing at the top. It's not fate, it's mathematics. An ancient pattern known as the Pareto principle or the 80-20 rule. But Machiavelli called it something sharper, the law of dominion. It says this: in every system, most of the results belong to the few who know how to control it. Look around. 20% of salespeople create 80% of revenue. 20% of companies own 80% of the market. And the richest 1% and control over 90% of the world's wealth. These aren't just statistics. They're nature's blueprint. Whenever power forms, it naturally concentrates. And the most frightening part, no one needs to command it to happen. It happens on its own like gravity. In the financial universe, small clusters of money are drawn toward larger ones. Those with more keep gaining more. Those with less trade time, just to hold on. Machiavelli once said, "The strong need not be cruel, only patient." The rich understand this. They don't fight for scraps. They wait, they observe, they invest at the right moment. And when the world panics, they buy everything. Remember the 2008 crisis? People lost homes, jobs, entire lives. But who was rescued first? The banks, the investment funds, the institutions labeled too big to fail. See the pattern? The Pareto principle isn't just economics. It's the culture of power itself. Once you're big enough, you don't play by the rules. You become the rules. Now, stop for a moment and ask yourself, where are you on that pyramid? Are you climbing it or carrying on your back? Here's what Machiavelli saw, and it's the part most people miss. The law of dominion isn't always evil. It's the natural engine of order. If you understand how it works, you don't need to destroy the system. You just need to stand correctly within it. The wise don't try to collapse the pyramid. They move up quietly, strategically, one tier at a time. They use knowledge to create value, discipline to accumulate, and timing to multiply. Look closely. Even in social media, the same law rules. 1% of creators attract 99% of the views. The rest they watch, share, and dream of being like them. That's par in the age of algorithms. And it governs money, power, and everything you touch. But here's the secret Machiavelli wanted you to understand. No one is born in the 1%. Those at the top aren't faster. They simply see farther. They read the current. They sense when to stop, when to move, and above all, they don't let emotion rule their judgment. Machiavelli once advised the prince, "He who wishes to preserve power must learn to do the right thing at the wrong time." Meaning, when others fear, you act. When the crowd believes, you doubt. When everyone says impossible, you try once. You don't need to be the smartest. You just need the courage to move against the tide. Comment below. I don't follow the crowd. I'm learning to see like the 1%. Let's see how many are truly waking up, realizing that power doesn't come from effort, but from perspective. In the next part, we'll go deeper into why after every crisis, those at the top don't just survive, they grow stronger. Number 4, the law of illusion. How power hides behind beautiful things. There's one truth Machiavelli understood better than anyone. Real power always knows how to hide itself. People see the light, but never the hand controlling the switch. Today, those who hold financial power wear no crowns, no robes. They wear suits. They speak softly. They appear on talk shows or post inspirational tweets. But don't be deceived by the image. Those smiles are curtains woven to make you feel safe. You think they're saving the economy. In reality, they're managing belief. The only thing keeping the monetary system alive, because money is no longer gold. It's collective faith. And whoever controls that faith controls the world. Look at the great corporations, banks, billion-dollar brands. They don't just sell products. They sell stories. Stories about freedom, convenience, happiness. But behind them lie data, advertising, and psychological algorithms crafted down to the decimal. When you hold that phone, you think you're expressing individuality. But in truth, you're feeding a profit model designed so you never escape it. Machiavelli once said, "The wise do not rule by force, but by perception." Today, control doesn't come through swords, but through screens. No one needs to force you anymore. They just make you believe you chose it. That is the law of illusion. The less visible the power, the stronger it becomes. Those who truly control money, finance, and policy, they don't argue online. They don't debate in public. They adjust a few numbers. And millions of people change their behavior. Have you noticed when markets crash, the headlines say, "Stay calm, everything will be fine." And you believe, you hold your stocks, you hold your cash, you hold your hope. But the writer of that headline loses nothing. You lose your faith. And that's exactly what they need. Because when you lose faith, you become dependent. You need someone to save you. And the one who comes to save you is the same one who created the problem. It sounds bitter, but that's how the system works. As Machiavelli wrote in The Prince, a wise ruler must learn how to conceal his intentions. Modern rulers do the same. They hide power under the word progress. They hide control beneath the mask of freedom. And they hide domination behind technology. Digital money, banking apps, credit cards, social media. They sound like evolution, but they're invisible chains. Every click, every transaction, every choice leaves a trace. And that trace is the new form of power, the power of information. If Machiavelli were alive today, he'd say modern rulers don't need to suppress the people, only make them volunteer their lives. And that's the reality. We record our own behavior. We reveal our spending habits. And then we're surprised when others know everything about us. Comment below. I don't look at the illusion, and I'm searching for the one who controls it. I will guard phrase. Let's see how many are truly awake, and how many still believe that everything is just coincidence. Number 5, the law of chains. When debt becomes a tool of control. Machiavelli once said, "No power is stronger than the one people willingly place around their own necks." In the past, that power came from crowns and churches. Today, it's debt. Debt has become the new religion of the modern world. No one forces you to believe, but you still believe. No one forces you to sign, but you still sign. Because this system doesn't need swords. It only needs promises. Promises of a house, a car, a degree, or that sacred phrase, a better future. And when you believe in that promise, you become the most loyal servant of all, a willing debtor. Think about it. You spend your life paying for things, and you consume before you ever got to enjoy them. You don't buy a house with your money. You buy it with 30 years of your future. It's the most sophisticated contract in human history. Selling your time without realizing it. And who profits? Not the small lenders, but those who control the flow of debt, the banks, the governments, the investment funds. They create money by making you believe you need it. Machiavelli would call this the art of control through voluntary submission. No force, no command, just a trap wrapped in the language of success. You were taught that having debt is normal, that everyone has debt, but that's one of the most effective lies ever told. Remember this. When you owe, you're no longer free. You can't quit. You can't leave. You can't pause. You are bound by numbers on a screen. It's the perfect form of control because you carry the chains yourself. Machiavelli once said, "A man bound by iron can be freed, but one bound by obligation never." Have you noticed? Every time the economy struggles, they say, borrow more to survive the crisis. It sounds reasonable, but it's a sedative for the masses. The more you borrow, the tighter the chain. The more you spend, the deeper the dependency. And when the entire world runs on debt, that world can never stop, because if it does, everything collapses together. That is the genius of modern financial power. Keep people trapped in the fear of loss, fear of losing the house, fear of losing the job, fear of missing the payment. And that fear keeps you obedient. No wars needed, no armies required, just a credit system. But Machiavelli also left another path. He didn't teach rebellion. He taught strategy. Use the chains to climb. Look at the rich. They borrowed too, but differently. They borrowed to create assets, not consume. They used debt as leverage, not as bondage. You borrow to survive. They borrow to own. Machiavelli would say, no tool is more dangerous than a power you do not understand. And debt is that tool. If you master it, it's a ladder. If you don't, it's a noose. Comment below. I use debt to climb, not to be chained. Let's see how many are awake enough to see this game for what it truly is, and how many still believe they're free, while their chains are named monthly payments. Number 6, the law of cycles when crisis becomes strategy. There's a comforting illusion. Most people believe that crises are accidents, that when markets crash, wars erupt, or prices soar, it's all just unpredictable chaos. But Machiavelli would disagree. He'd say, what repeats is no longer an accident. It's a plan. Look closely. Every few years, there's another collapse. 2008, the financial bubble. 2020, the global pandemic. 2023, the inflation crisis. And every single time something strange happens, ordinary people lose everything while those at the top grow richer. Ask yourself, if the system truly makes random mistakes, why do those mistakes always benefit the same people? Why does it always fail in the same direction? Because crisis isn't a malfunction. It's a mechanism, a cleansing cycle, a design to transfer wealth from the panic to the patient. Imagine the world as a field of crops. Every few years, the field is burned so that new seeds can be planted. In finance, the same thing happens. Markets are burned so that power and value can be consolidated. During crisis, big corporations devour small ones. Large banks swallow the weak. Those with cash become predators. Those with debt become prey. Machiavelli understood this perfectly. He once wrote, "A wise ruler does not let crises weaken him. He turns them into tools to eliminate the weak." You see, for the strong, crisis is not destruction. It's redistribution. For the weak, it's punishment for blindness. Look at history. After every recession, the middle class shrinks and the top 1% expands. Not because they work harder, but because they understand the law cycles. They know when the system must collapse to renew faith in it. And they prepare long before it happens. While the crowd invests with emotion, the elite invests with cold blood. They don't fear when everything falls apart. They wait for the exact moment when everyone else is terrified, and then they strike. Machiavelli once said, "When the storm comes, the weak build walls, the strong build sails." That's how those at the top survive every collapse. They don't fight the storm. They use the wind. So what can you do with this knowledge? The answer: stop reacting like a victim. Start preparing like a strategist. Instead of panicking when bad news hits, ask who's profiting from this. Instead of selling when the market drops, ask why do they want me afraid? Because in this game, your fear is someone else's income. The more you understand the cycle, the less control it has over you. You stop seeing crises as disasters and start seeing them as signals, warning that a new round of the game is beginning. And if you stay calm enough to see that, you won't be swept away. You'll stay still. Watch and wait. Comment below. I don't fear crisis. I learn to control it. Let's see how many truly understand. The world doesn't repeat because of chaos. It repeats because someone needs it to in order to stay in control. Number 7, the law of the golden cage. When freedom is just an illusion, we live in an age obsessed with freedom. Financial freedom, freedom of choice, freedom to live life your way. But have you ever stopped and asked yourself if I'm truly free? Why are all my choices already suggested to me? You pick your food because an ad made you crave it. You pick your phone because others praised it. You pick your goals because society labeled them success. And you think, I'm deciding for myself. But in truth, you're only choosing between pre-assigned options. Machiavelli once said, "A man never realizes he's being controlled if the one controlling him convinces him it was his own idea." That is the greatest illusion of this century, the illusion of freedom. In the past, kings ruled through laws. Today, systems rule through habits and comfort. You're not forced to listen. You want to. You're not ordered to buy. You like to. You're not imprisoned. You willingly plant yourself in front of the screen. You wake up with your phone. You fall asleep with notifications. You say, "I need a break," and open another app. The cage isn't made of iron anymore. It's made of dopamine. Smooth, pleasant, addictive. The platforms know you better than you know yourself. They know when you're lonely, tired, anxious, and they feed you exactly what will keep you there longer. No need for chains. Just make sure you never want to leave. Machiavelli would say, ruling through fear is temporary. Ruling through desire lasts forever. And that's how the modern world keeps you free. Free to shop, free to scroll, free to express. As long as you keep consuming and depending. When you post a photo, you're building data for platform. When you watch an ad, you're enriching a system you'll never see. When you share your thoughts, you're exposing your mind and the system smiles. It doesn't need to control you with violence, only with comfort. That's why most people will never leave this game, because they love their cage. It's bright, it's convenient, and it has Wi-Fi. Machiavelli once wrote, "Most men do not desire freedom. They only wish to feel safe while believing they are free." Read that again. That's why you feel enough, but never truly free. Real freedom isn't pretty. It's lonely, unpredictable, demanding. There's no by now button, no step-by-step guide. Only you in full responsibility for your choices. And that is what the system fears most. A human being who needs no approval, no entertainment, no permission to live by his own design, because a person like that cannot be controlled. Comment below, I don't need a golden cage. I choose real freedom. Let's see how many have the courage to face this truth, and how many will keep comforting themselves by saying everything's fine. Number 8, the law of awakening. The one who can no longer be consumed by the game. There comes a stage every human must pass through. At first, you just want to make money. Then you crave freedom, and one day you realize everything you've been chasing is just another tool of the game, and you begin to ask, am I playing the game, or is the game playing me? That moment is the beginning of awakening. Machiavelli once wrote, he who rules the world is not the one who is more, but the one who understands how the world works. When you understand the laws, money no longer frightens you. Crises no longer shake you. And the success of others no longer makes you jealous, because you see the truth. Everything moves in cycles. Money, power, fame, love. They all spin in the same loop. Those trapped inside it call it life. Those who step outside it call it freedom. Look back at what we've uncovered. Bad money drives out good. Proximity decides who wins. Power concentrates in the hands of few. Debt becomes chains. Crisis is a tool. Freedom is an illusion. Once you realize all of this, you face two paths. Collapse in despair, or awaken and become strategic. That is the Machiavellian choice. Don't run from the world. Don't curse it. Understand it. Use it. Rise above it. Machiavelli would say, the weak complain about the game. The strong learn to play it. You don't need to destroy the system. Just learn to bend it. Instead of hating money, understand it. Instead of fearing debt, use it as leverage. Instead of avoiding crisis, prepare for it. Because once you stop reacting like the crowd, you rise to another level. Few ever reach this state, not because they lack intelligence, but because they fear silence. When awakening begins, you lose false pleasures. You lose temporary comfort. You start feeling alone because you no longer fit into the illusion. But don't fear that loneliness. It's the price of real power. As Machiavelli wrote, he who wishes to command his destiny must have the courage to walk away from the crowd. You'll come see a harsh, simple truth. The world doesn't need you to understand it. But if you do, you'll never again be its victim. That's when you step out of the golden cage and begin building your fortress within. No one can control you through fear because you no longer fear. No one can seduce you with illusion because you see through it. No one can enslave you because you are complete. That is the summit of the Machiavelli mindset. You don't need to fight the world. You don't need to be king or saint. You just need to be the calm mind in the chaos. When others argue, you observe. When others run, you stand still. When others seek permission, you make the path. And while the world spins, you remain the still center of your own orbit. Comment below, I choose awakening. If you've come this far, you're no longer a casual viewer. You're someone learning the art of directing the current instead of being swept away by it. In the final part, we'll complete the journey from the ancient laws of money to the power of perception and end with Machiavelli's final reminder. The one who knows the laws never loses the game. If you've made it this far, ask yourself one question. Am I living the game or learning how to control it? Because that's the only line that separates the victim from the ruler. The day you realize that money isn't fair, that power doesn't come from effort, that the system was never built for you to win, is the day you begin to see how the world truly operates. And from that moment on, you're never the same again. Machiavelli once said, "The wise do not wait for justice from the world. They create their own." When you know the laws, you stop being afraid. You stop running in the race. You stop trying to prove your worth to anyone, because now you understand the world doesn't reward the good. It rewards the strategic. And you've begun to learn how to play. Now, when you see the headlines, crisis, inflation, war, you no longer react with fear. You respond with strategy. You start asking, who's profiting? Where's the money flowing? And where can I position myself in that flow? That is the first step of the awakened mind. Not escaping the world, but understanding its structure. Not fighting the system, but operating within it with your eyes open. You can't change the laws of money, but you can change your position within them. And that is the essence of the Machiavellian spirit. If you watched until now, comment below. I choose to understand the laws and share this video with someone still running in circles without realizing they're trapped inside the spin. Because as Machiavelli once said, true power does not come from breaking the game, but from seeing the entire board and knowing exactly when to make your move.